What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so apparently Jack White watched Terrence Howard's appearance on this last episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. I watched it. It's like 3 hours and 9 minutes. I was shocked by this. I thought Joe was going to talk to him about movies and his acting career and all that. And instead, we find out that Terrence is an accredited researcher with like 92 patents for certain. I was like, he was explaining all this stuff. And I'm not an academic. My wife happened to walk in while I was watching it because I was telling her my wife has a bachelor's and a master's degree, over 17 years working in education. I could talk about my wife's accreditations for you. I mean, my wife's an educator, and like I said, she did it. College isn't for everybody. I know Jack White went to college and dropped out during the first semester. He lives in Nashville. There's a lot of people that live in Nashville and stuff like that. Obviously I'm here in the suburbs in Nashville, and like I said, college isn't for everybody. But let's read what Jack White said after watching the episode. Hey everyone, just a reminder, you should definitely be getting your facts about science and medicine from Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan. Misspelled his name, but I will say this. He did, you see he's got the two R's, Terrence Howard, but he misspelled his name, but that's neither here nor there. I respect the fact that if you're going to talk shit, at least tag the person in it. So I respect that. He actually tagged him in. Listen, hey everyone, just a reminder, you should definitely be getting your facts about science and medicine from Terrence Howard and Joe Rogan. I wouldn't waste any time trusting scientists or doctors who went to universities, etc., for 12 years getting a PhD or anything. Nor should you trust anyone who understands what peer reviewing is, etc. It's really great that MMA Joe uses his platform in front of millions to make sure everyone gets the truth. Keep up the great work, MAGA Joe. You're helping people. Jack White III. And then obviously hashtag Terrence Howard, hashtag Joe Rogan, hashtag science. And let me see, I think he tagged Joe Rogan. Yep. So he tagged Joe Rogan as well. And let's actually get in the comments, because I saw if right there at the top is the legend himself, Mr. David Allen Greer. If you've been watching this channel, you know I've had a couple of interactions which David almost blocked me on Twitter because I was making fun of him. And one of the reasons I was making fun of him on Twitter is because if you know David Allen Greer, he actually has some of the same criticisms about him that Terrence Howard has, i.e., he's been known to cosplay the black experience. Obviously, David Allen Greer is black. Obviously, Terrence Howard is black. But Terrence Howard went to the Pratt Institute in New York. That's where he went to. He's an accomplished musician. He had a record deal through Sony and put out. But what was so funny, when he did, he played that pimp in what was the Hustle and Flow. He played the pimp in Hustle and Flow, got nominated for an Academy Award. And so did Taraji P. Henson in that movie. But that's the first time that I remember them working together. But Terrence Howard does not listen to rap. He listens to like classical jazz. He's admitted this. And there's interviews with the guys from 3 6 Mafia who actually wrote the song that is Hard Out Here for a Pimp, that they actually won an Oscar for at the Academy Awards for that song. But Terrence Howard was the vocalist on that. And they were laughing, talking about trying to teach Terrence Howard how to rap. They were talking about Terrence Howard had the rhythm of a white guy. He just couldn't get, they had to do take after take. He just didn't like, if you talk to him about like piano music or like guitar, he could understand that type of structure, but him actually trying to rap on a beat, he just did not have it. He cosplays. So people have said that about David Alan Grier. If you don't know David Alan Grier, he has a degree from not only the University of Michigan, he went to Yale, and his roommate was the guy from Perfect Strangers, not the guy that played Balky. Is it Mark Lynn Baker? Mark Lynn Baker was his roommate at Yale. And so a lot of times David Alan Grier would be like, yo, he'd be doing this stuff, and everybody, I've seen other people say it's like, why is he talking like this? Bro, you are highly educated. You don't need to play down like that. But people would criticize Terrence Howard like that as well, because of how he got his start in movies and television. He was always playing those gangster roles, pimps and hustlers, a stick-up guy. Look at him in the movie with 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. He's playing a street guy, but that's not his experience. So a lot of people, when I saw him on Joe Rogan, let me get out, because like I said, there's a lot of people in these comments, but just reacting to Jack, because a lot of people were surprised that Jack did this. He just did this. That this post is getting comments, but it's not even 30 minutes old, which is why I just wanted to make the video. But from my understanding, Terrence Howard does have a website for this new technology and stuff that he was talking about on Joe Rogan. He's got books. He's lectured at universities and everything. So like I said, I know he's gone to college, and from my understanding, he doesn't actually have a PhD or a doctorate or anything. But yeah, he's gone to college. I know he's lectured at different universities and stuff. But he actually did tell a story while he was on Joe Rogan about one of the universities being nervous about having him lecture there. They had him come to talk about his television and film career. And then he was wanting to talk about some of the new science and technology that he has been researching. And they got a little nervous about it. And he was, so he said he's been receiving a lot of pushback from the academic crowd about the things that he's been researching. That he's got three papers that have been peer reviewed. He mentioned trying to have Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has been on Joe Rogan several times. He wanted him to actually go over his research material and check it out. And he said that Neil deGrasse Tyson attacked him and was saying, calling it pseudoscience and all this kind of thing. And Joe Rogan was actually surprised by that, because he respects Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like I said, he's been on at least 3 times that I've seen on the Joe Rogan Experience. And he was like, wow, I can't believe. But some of the people that are working with Terrence Howard on this project, he calls it what, linchpin. Like I said, he was when my wife walked in, he was talking like my wife. My wife talks to other academics. So I'm sitting there going, I don't know what he's saying. And it was, he had all kind of charts. They were pulling stuff up in video. He was very serious. This was not a joke to him. He had really done a lot of research. Joe Rogan had looked over the stuff, and they did talk about Joe, and the blowback he got from telling people not to take the vaccine. And Terrence Howard also mentioned that he hadn't gotten the vaccine and that he lost at least 4 jobs because he refused to get vaccinated. There's a lot of stuff to unpack there, but I just, like I said, I like Jack White. Obviously, I'm a White Stripes fan, and I've listened to, some of the solo stuff that he does. I was surprised that he posted this, but I mean, hey, like I said, the stuff I watched the 3 hours and 9 minutes of Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan. I was fascinated by him. Just they're talking about like ancient Egyptians and stuff. It's kind of, it's like the Cat Williams interview that Joe Rogan did, but like to a higher level, because like I said, my understanding is Cat's never gone to college. He's talking about he read a lot of books and all this, but I don't think he's actually gone. I know he had went to the military and stuff like that, but I don't think he has any accreditation. I know Terrence has at least gone to university and, studied some. From my understanding, like I said earlier, I don't think he has any actual degrees, but it sounds like from everything that he was putting out there, he's created a company that is handling patent technology and all this, and he's talking about clean air technology and all this. He was talking a lot of the stuff he was talking about was fascinating, and I was shocked by it. But again, I'm not an academic, and like I said, Jack White, from my understanding, is just a musician, and he, by his own admission, dropped out after like one semester at a university. And I mean, like I said, there's so many musicians in Nashville. I mean, Chris Stapleton, if you know who Chris Stapleton is, he's a huge country star. Chris Stapleton went to Vanderbilt, which I did not know. There's photos of Chris Stapleton's got that big, thick, grizzly beard. You can Google the pictures of Chris Stapleton when he was at Vanderbilt, and he's all clean shaven. Just doesn't look like the same guy. I think Chris Stapleton dropped out of Vanderbilt, but he went like a semester or two at Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt's expensive as hell. They call it the Harvard of the South. So, I mean, but like I said, I know Terrence Howard at least has gone to universities, but he doesn't have any doctorate, but he sounded extremely credible. I went to his website that they were talking about on Joe Rogan. They have a lot of information there. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, and not to mention, he mentioned multiple other doctors that he has working with him, and those guys definitely have certification. They have PhDs. They have credentials upon credentials upon. He's not just out here like, oh, I've discovered this and this is going to shake up the world. He's got people with real credentials, real PhDs working with him. So, like I said, I don't know. Perhaps Terrence Howard, especially after he said the stuff on the Joe Rogan podcast about the vaccine, maybe I've noticed that when Joe Rogan has a interview that goes viral, the same liberals will get out and attack him. They'll get out, they'll make posts, they'll say this, they'll say that. And if you remember, when he was doing the stuff about, hey, get more educated, don't just take their word for it and take this vaccine, even The Rock gave Joe Rogan props, like, hey, brother, I respect it, and you're right, people should definitely get more information. It seems like the vaccine is not fully fleshed out, and maybe certain people, maybe do more research before you just do this. And then The Rock got a bunch of blowback, and if you know about The Rock, he wants everybody to like him, so he backed down and pretended like he never said anything supported. Now, like I said, they squashed all that, and The Rock was on Joe Rogan's podcast earlier this year, and I enjoyed the episode, but they didn't talk about anything controversial because The Rock has admitted that they've talked to him about running for president. So why would you want to say anything? It is what it is. But like I said, if you watched Terrence Howard's appearance on Joe Rogan, what did you think about it? Did you understand? Because like I said, when it was the same feeling with the Cat Williams thing. Cat Williams was talking about a lot of deep stuff that I had to go, as he was saying certain things, I was Googling. I was like, what is that? And so Cat Williams he seems like, Cat Williams just likes to sit there and smoke a blunt or whatever and just do this. And he was dropping bars. So a lot of the stuff that Terrence Howard was saying, you can Google and research. And he, like I said, he was very prepared during his 3. He was, like I said, I thought he was gonna be like, okay, so how did you get Empire? No, that wasn't. They briefly touched on him playing Rhodes in the Iron Man, in the first Iron Man movie, and what led to him not being in the. He talked about the fact that he gave up some of his salary and did things behind the scenes to help Robert Downey Jr. get that part. And then when they wanted to get rid of him and try to get him to give up some money, Robert Downey Jr. just kind of ignored him, and then they brought Don Cheadle in to take his place. And he said him and Robert Downey Jr. have talked face to face, and they hugged it out and they worked it out. But yeah, he was disappointed at that time because he was thinking Robert Downey Jr. and him were pretty good friends, and he felt like Robert kind of screwed him. But yeah, like I said, the interview with Terrence Howard on the Joe Rogan YouTube channel is fantastic. And he was talking, like I said, he was talking stuff that, if it's true, it would change science. But again, I'm not academic, and maybe some of you guys watched it and were like, this is Terrence Howard. He's an actor. He don't know what he's talking about. If that's your stance on it, that's fine too. But again, surprised that Jack White put this out. But hey, what are you going to do? Get in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. We want you here. Follow me, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on X, I'm on Threads, all at Ikari Press. If you type in IkariPress.com, it will take you to my comic book brand, Way of the Gun. I've got the link to that and my Gumroad in the description if you want to check out some other projects. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.